Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, warning, this is a spoiler-based podcast. If you have not seen Ghost Rider 1 and 2 starring the legendary Nicolas Cage, count yourself among the lucky few. But we're going to do this all day. We are powered by Comic Palooza, the greatest podcast, the greatest podcasting supporting team, the greatest Comic-Con of all time, of this state, nay, this country, nay, the world, nay,
multiverse!
Folks, you can find us on all podcasting apps that's out there. That's Stitcher, Google Play, Satchel, Ham Radio, Spotify. If you have an iPhone, you will find us. If you have an Android, you will find us. There is no excuse. You cannot escape our grasp. We are here in your lives. Nobody laughed at that. It wasn't a real threat. Relax. But yeah, find us on Twitter and Instagram at Code45 Podcast. We got cards up here, merchandise for after the show. We got stuff for people who participate. Hopefully everybody's sipping on a solo cup full of jelly beans.
Jelly bellies.
So let's not waste any more time. Let's get this started, guys.
You are now listening to Code45, the only Code Movie podcast that puts down your chest.
Yeah! Welcome everybody to another episode of Code45 that's live. I'm your host, Beat 'em Down. Today I'm joined by
Random Randy.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't guessed, we're going to be doing Ghost Rider starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's what we're doing?
Okay. This is the worst and forgotten of all times for Marvel movies, and we are going to be doing this one just for you today here at Comic Palooza. So if you guys aren't familiar with this, we are a comedic movie podcast. And what we're going to do is talk about this movie, 1 and 2, break them down, and try to figure some stuff out. But it's also crowd participation because it's not about us. None of you know us. None of you care, but we appreciate you coming out here. I'm going to need you to get your mean faces because what's going to happen, we're going to show our villains on the big screen over here, and we're going to have a roast battle.
Yes.
So there's no bad or good diss. Whoever goes up and participate will get something from us for participating. So I need you to start, if you've seen the movie and you know how the villains look, I need you to start getting your creative juices flowing because last year they didn't do so good. We got a lot of Canadian insults. Just
They tried. They did their best.
Yeah, just I think you could just use a different shade of shampoo. Like no. That's terrible. I need you to hurt these people's feelings because they're not here, and that's the best time you can talk trash about them. That's how the world works. That's how America works, and that's how we do it every week.
Angry.
So without further ado, let's get this started. Are you guys ready?
Yes!
All right. So without further ado, we're going to get started with the one that started it all, 2006 Ghost Rider, directed by a man who I refuse to remember his name. All I know is that he did Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, y'all feel every piece of that. Yeah. It's we're gonna judge it at the end of the film.
We already did Daredevil.
So everybody knows who starred in Ghost Rider.
Nicolas Cage.
Who's familiar with Nick Cage?
Oh, yes.
By round of applause, who's a fan of Nick Cage?
Yes.
And you're fans because it's ironic.
Yes.
You're not fans.
So without further ado, Randy, let's talk about our hero, good old Ghost Rider, a.k.a. Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny Blaze.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he was channeling young Elvis, possibly, if that's the thing. Oh, we need some more chairs?
I thought it was just him.
Hey, these guys are cool. They can come up and grab some chairs. Here, we got some chairs in the back here.
Yeah.
You guys came
live
all the
show,
way from
whatever.
Clear Lake, Texas, to come see us. What's going on?
Walking in late. Get a chair, get out of here. Get your chair.
So, I'm not gonna lie, Randy. I don't know about you. When you saw this movie right out of the bat, what was the first thing that caught your eye about Nicolas Cage?
When I first saw Nick Cage in the movie, about 40 minutes in, I just it's just, I don't know. I'm reminded of my own hairline and how it just keeps going back and back and back. And he's supposed to be this is only supposed to be 10 years later after he leaves the hot Roxanne on a cliffside. And I'm just like, where did all the hair go? Why is his hair so weird and odd and in his face and his eyes so piercing and mad and crazy?
Oh, he's crazy all the time. But he basically wore a helmet of hair on his head. I could not enjoy the entire movie because I couldn't stop looking at it. And what made it even more egregious is they start the movie in the past with an actor who could have just played him. And it's like, nah. Guys, I'm on the phone. Nick Cage has been doing crunches for 6 weeks. We got to put him in. And here's one of the things. Apparently, the director really said he liked Ghost Rider.
Right.
And Nick Cage has been trying to get into the comic book world. I am not going to show you a picture of him in a Superman suit. Google it yourself. Because I'm not going to be responsible for staff having to clean up all the vomit off the floor.
Right.
It is hideous.
Tim Burton produced Superman.
It's bad.
Gross.
It's bad. It looks like he's wearing like just edible underoos.
It's
bad.
black licorice. And just like melted on into like an S shape.
And he has
gross.
more fake hair.
Yeah.
So they switched to Nick Cage. You can tell put all his nuances in this. This is why you guys are all enjoying jelly beans and Solo cups, because he doesn't drink because it gives him nightmares, and he uses jelly beans instead. So raise your cup up in the name of Nicolas Cage.
Yay!
And enjoy the bountiful surplus of Jelly Bellies that came out of my own pocket. They are not cheap. Why are they so expensive?
Because they're delicious.
It tastes like popcorn. Eat popcorn, man.
You know how hard it is to get a jelly bean taste like earwax?
We don't have that in there.
Okay.
These are tasty, though. But
Brandon hates Harry Potter.
I don't watch Harry Potter. So, more importantly, guys, are these real? Are these abs real? I need a show of hands. Who thinks these abs are real? Show of hands. How many people think this is CG? Understandable. Raise your hands. How many people think this is real?
If you put enough baby oil on
Yeah.
We have somebody in the crowd saying, I think it's masked with muscle baby oil. I want to agree with you. I think they use all the oils, canola, vegetable,
Canola,
grapeseed.
all them oils.
He's oiled up. Like, he's in better shape than me. I'm not going to trash a man who's in better shape than me, but it's just the fact that his face and that body does not match. And then it's like, okay, the distance between nipples and shoulders are insane. But
well, you just got like titties that just kind of hanging out a little bit. Udders. He's got little udders that are hanging out.
So, who wants to get in on this? Who wants to talk trash about Nick Cage real quick? Yeah. I need a show of hands. Who wants to get up here and talk trash?
Yes.
Anybody? No, we need to get up. There's a microphone right there. We got a hot mic. Who wants to get up here? Come on. I need somebody to get up here and start talking trash.
Come on.
He's built like a vanilla Snicker bar. I'll get it started. What else you got? His body was sponsored by the Candle Factory. What else we got? Yankee Candle. He looks like a vanilla bear crawler. Come on, guys. His midsection looks like an apple fritter. Nobody's gonna get up and get on this.
Moving on. Fine.
I will reward myself. I did good. Yay me.
Good job.
You should have got up there. You should have got
right there.
Should have got up. That's for you. Here, come up and get it. This is for you, sir, for participation.
We're not allowed to throw things anymore. I hit a baby.
Yeah. I did hit a man right in the mouth. That's why I wanted y'all to get up there so I won't assault you with these goodies here. That didn't come out right. I'm sorry.
He hit him right in the mouth.
So, let's quit wasting time here. Let's talk about these henchmen. So, every Marvel movie up until recently had issues with villains. And everybody forgot how good we got it. Yeah, the villain from Thor, Dark World, who I can't remember his name, Malekith. Yeah, he sucked. But did he suck as bad as these guys? The reason, all of them had elements. I want to say Earth, Wind, and Fire, but the last guy was made of water, so I just said water trash. So we got Earth, Wind, and water trash. Mm-hmm. That's who these guys are. But one name was Gristle.
One was Gristle, the other one was Abacor. Or
Abador. It was
Abador. Oh, sorry.
Abador.
I'm sorry. The fish one should have been named Abacor.
That'd have been dope. That'd have been dope.
And then the last one was Wallow.
Right.
Sorry.
So
I was gonna go with Juicy.
So what sucks about these guys is behind the scenes, the most work that went into these guys was their duster jackets.
Yeah.
They literally had to get imported
eel skin, alligator skin,
what was it?
shark
Stingray.
skin. Yeah, stingrays. Stingray skin.
Apparently, the
they had to go to back alleys and like make deals and like have it shipped under darkness.
Truth.
And I'm like,
Truth. Yeah, none of them had acting class. I think the dude in the middle was he sung "Freak on a Leash." Maybe.
Yeah. I love that music. It's awesome. I love the Untouchables album.
Okay, so I need you guys to participate. This is really important. If you want a keychain, I need you to get in the line
He's
right
getting
now.
up. He's ready. Here it comes.
Wait, I need you some. All right, get ready. Go ahead. What you got?
The guy in the middle. I'm just glad that Milli Vanilli got work again.
Oh! There it is.
There it is. Anybody else?
Up.
Uh-oh. What you got?
The stand-ins for the Macklemore video.
Oh!
You should be proud of yourself.
Oh, here we go.
We got another one. What you got?
Guy in the middle again looks like he's a few years too early for Twilight.
Nice. Oh, wait.
Nope.
Water Trash looked like he got in a fight with a washing machine full of bleach.
The one in the front looks like a discount ashy Jason Statham.
Yep.
They look like a bunch. All three of them look like a bunch of rejects from a community theater of Wizard of Oz. You got the you got the Caroline in the middle. You got the Scarecrow on the right, and you got the Tin Performance on the left.
Nice.
Well done. Well
All right, that's
done.
enough. Let's lay off.
I think everyone just really loved Nick Cage and they want to bash him. That's what it
Y'all
was.
were really
You
nice
put a
to
bunch of
Nick Cage.
nobodies up on the screen and like, yeah, fuck these
Y'all
guys.
were really nice. Y'all were
Sorry,
really
I mean, forget these guys.
Very nice. So, let's talk about what really matters here. The love interest. Yeah.
Roxanne.
You don't have to put on any clothes
At all.
because you're so hot. Eva Mendes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you are seeing her holding a magic 8-ball at a dinner table because that's totally normal. Nothing weird about that.
Okay, I'm going to say it.
What?
She is the devil in this movie.
How so? Explain.
Because every time she shows up, something terrible happens. Like, think about it. She's like, let's run away with me, Johnny. Run away with me. Oh, of course I'm going to run away with you, young Eva Mendes. I'm going to go with you and live forever. And then my dad has cancer. He doesn't die, just gets cancer. All right, so now I got to make a deal with the devil. I don't know about it. Okay, he's feeling better now. Then I'm going to run away again. No, and then he dies.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, my life is great. I'm indestructible. I can't die. Oh, look, Roxanne shows up. Hey, the devil come back. You got to kill my son now.
You know what? I would agree with you if they didn't do her character so poorly. Because, okay, first of all,
Right.
Look at her. Okay? Look at Nicolas Cage. She is trying so hard to have Nicolas Cage do her. And it's like, why is this your character motivation? What is she literally had to like be so sad after shaking the magic 8-ball to grab a random waiter and be like, do you think I'm pretty? And he was like, eh. But it's like, who cares? Like this guy, the guy, okay, because you know, they split up because reasons, devil, whatever,
Right.
it's normal. She approaches him. Nicolas Cage is to the point where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna be 100% with you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna look you dead in your face and tell you the truth and tell you that I made a deal with the devil and I'm Satan's bounty hunter, and that's what it is. With a straight, blank Nick Cage face. And she got upset, but she still came back to him. Why did you write her so weak? She can't be the devil if they made her so deluded. Let that be a black woman. Let that be a Latina woman. Let that be a real woman, excuse me. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't work. Let me try to tell somebody I'm a devil's bounty hunter. It wouldn't be an excuse. You still need to get that child support on time. That's what they will say. Good. You got a job then. Make sure that stuff comes in the check. I'm just saying. Just putting that out there. Let's talk about this other guy, the caretaker. You know what? Sam Elliott is great. Sam Elliott is great, but
He's great.
don't use him for everything. Make him do truck commercials. That's fine. Dodge Ram. Nothing's more manly than a cold cup of coffee and no love and cigarette butts in your backseat. That's what he's for.
White wine.
That's a deep cut for any Robot Chicken fans. I
Anybody?
apologize.
No.
But Sam Elliott was, you know, like I just thought he was gonna talk about the dude every 2.5 seconds. And they try to make it to where You didn't think that he was a previous Ghost Rider, and they did a terrible job because it was super obvious.
Yeah.
And he was always at the church. Like, for some reason, Nick Cage, when he freaked out, he went to a graveyard, and he was there waiting, and he knew everything. He was an exposition machine. That's fine. But come on, guys. He's like, there's a guy named Carter Slade who's clearly not me, even though I look like a Carter Slade. Ignore that.
Ignore that. He had a great mustache.
And then like Johnny Blaze didn't even bother to ask, like, why do you know? Not once.
No.
Why do you know all this? It's like, I used to know him. That really, caretaker.
It's like, why didn't you not freak out when I showed up? My head was still on fire,
bro. His cover name was literally Caretaker. Come on, I'm done with him. I'm done. I like him though. I also want to show the fact I'm not that well versed with Ghost Rider. I didn't know they actually had a character named Caretaker, and they could have found somebody a little more swole. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there.
One more thing before
That's a
we move
swole
on.
old man.
He, after being the exposition machine, he's just totally like completely.
Oh my God, let's talk about that.
He just ruined like. Okay, San Laganza's 500 miles from here. I got one more thing to show you. Poof! I'm a Ghost Rider too. Let's ride together in CG heaven and get to San Laganza. Okay, here's a shotgun. See ya.
Yeah. What? Like they ride and just blow the entire CG. It's a horse on fire and a cowboy with a badass on a bike, and they're going. And like literally, as soon as they get there, he's like, "There it is. Here's a gun. I'm gonna go die now." And he's just He just go vanishes, and that's it. It's like you were saving that for like what 150 years. Just
I was saving it for one last ride.
Could have just gave.
You could have waited till we got here to turn it back on.
He could have printed out.
We could have. I'm a superstar Daredevil. We could have taken a plane here, saved your Ghost Rider, and then you could have fought as Ghost Rider with me one more time.
Nah, they didn't have it in the budget, I guess.
Or have the horse fight.
All those.
Horse. Come on, like the song says, horses snorting fire.
What song is that?
Riders in the Sky. It was playing in that same stupid scene.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, what you got?
I was wondering. So, if he's a Ghost Rider, does the horse become a Ghost Rider, or is it whatever you get on that it counts like your vehicle?
We will get to that in the next movie.
We will get to that.
In the next movie, we will cover that.
We will get to that. We're going to get to it, but not probably in the way that you like, because we're going to be very upset when we talk about it, so just be ready.
Yeah.
All right! Menthol cigarette. Wait, what?
Methadone.
Satan.
Satan!
Safe word for Satan.
I mean, yeah.
Mephistopheles. I know how to read, all right? So, Peter Fonda, guys, Easy Rider. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did that. So let's put him in this thing with motorcycles because he's he's Peter Fonda. Have him say Far Out, that'd be cute. And then like nothing else, he's just super old. Like, okay, here's the dilemma. You give the powers to the Ghost Rider, but the Ghost Rider can just do what he wants after that. What are you doing? You're so dastardly.
Even more dastardly and messed up than that. I am going to use this power to fight evil and against you, and I'm coming for you, Satan. He's like, hold on. So the hundreds of times I've saved your life and kept you alive and made you almost immortal, you know what? Goodbye. And then just like head injury, back injury, eyeballs going, like fire, like how? How does that not work that way? Where it's like, okay, I held death back. Now I just unleash it on you.
Here's the best part about it. Like,
and then like a sexy, what's her face from Gotham shows up and punches him in the throat. Oh, no. It's a Deadpool 2 thing. That's not. Oh, spoilers.
You're the worst.
I know. Who here hasn't seen Deadpool 2? Ah, it sucks.
Way to go, dude. Way to go. Way to go.
It's fine.
This is how we get people.
It's not a very big, important plot point.
Speaking of young Elvis.
Woo!
No. Remember,
he wishes.
Raise your hand if you've seen American Beauty.
Yeah.
Plastic bag guy as the devil's son, Blackheart. Now, the reason I cared enough to make Blackheart look super cool, because that's what he's supposed to look like, man. But say we get young Elvis, and he just, okay, I want to really talk bad about him, and I'm going to in a little bit, but the fact is he was super gone on drugs around this point in time because he was having a turbulent point in his life.
Aww.
So here's where I'm going to talk trash. Usually when an artist is like suffering and going through a lot, usually their work is like really good. Just saying.
Usually.
I'm just saying.
I mean, if we're gonna
if
count
I'm
hairs here.
if you're at the darkest moment where you see the mirror where it's about to crack, where your life is about to shatter before you, and everything's gonna go to hell and dust and ashes in your mouth. At that point in time, you think you wouldn't phone in an acting performance. Just throwing it up. Just saying. If you're at rock bottom, maybe he could play the devil good, but he didn't. He sucked. He sucked real bad. It was all about his duster jacket. Every villain in this movie, it was all about the damn dusters. Like they literally set up a shot where their backs will be turned so you can see the.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. I'm gonna leave this up to you guys. I'm gonna need somebody to come up here and roast these fools.
Roast these fools.
Who wants to get in on this? I'm serious. I'm gonna be really disappointed nobody comes here and chop these guys up.
You right there. The mic is right there.
We can't hear you on the feed.
I think the devil looks like the dad from Seventh Heaven, and didn't he end up being the devil?
Oh my God. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Anybody else? Nobody else.
Nobody?
He looks like like a bastard student from Sweet Valley High. Just throwing it out there. Ladies and gentlemen, evil Jason Priestley. We got one. What you got?
Wake me up inside.
Oh yeah.
Very good. All right, guys, you guys are too lenient.
It's another
Peter Fonda. Reference. Like when I first saw him, I was confused. I thought he was gonna say, "I can give you unlimited power." No. But yeah, these guys suck. So, without further ado, let's try to figure this out. What sucked about Ghost Rider? What actually was good about Ghost Rider?
Everything.
Nicolas Cage sucked about Ghost Rider? What? You think so? So, I'm glad he said that.
Yeah.
I'm glad he said it. Okay, so those who can't hear, who's listening, listen to our podcast. Here's the deal. One person said it's up because of Nick Cage. The other guy said, you don't know the passion that he brought into this. Here's the deal. Behind the scenes, your boy Nick Cage, he cared, but he cared a little too much. The jelly beans, Nick Cage idea. Carpenter's was pimped very heavily in this movie. Nick Cage's idea. And what made it even crazier was when he gets motivated to act, there's a scene where he's standing up and he's shaking, and they're spraying him with fake sweat, and all he's saying is, I want to kill. Like, dead serious. And here's the crazy part. He held back in part one. We're gonna really it's gonna get real in part two. So he made the movie tolerable because it's a really boring movie if you think about it. I wasn't that mad at the CG. It's 2006 CG. It's super clean, very sterile, but it was cool. Ghost Rider was cool looking. Ghost Rider also was not. It wasn't Nicolas Cage. For some reason, they got a stuntman who looked like Nicolas Cage, even though his face wasn't gonna be seen. But big hulky guy. When they returned to Ghost Rider, he was huge, bulky. I didn't like the finger, the little bony fingers sticking out and stuff. And like their budget was like pretty decent, but they did dumb stuff with their budget. And I think that's kind of what sucked.
Oh, you mean the giant, like the mechanical arm he used to grab?
Oh my God!
Like so this is the end. We spent $85,000 for the bony hand to grab someone in CG.
Because we don't want everything.
Why?
We think the hand needs to be real because it'll cost too much. And like literally the arm, what made it so funny, it was like this arm, like the left arm, right? And it had all the little servos things connected, and it was like, you can just hold it. So one guy can control it, but they made the guy that made the hand control it too, so he had to have two left hands trying to do it. It was the dumbest thing ever. I don't know, I'm OCD a little bit, so that kind of bothered me. I was like, can somebody just hold the hand for the man?
No.
But
why didn't he just put it on like a little thing on his like shoulder? Now I have this arm and I use it to grab things now.
It would have been nice, but it didn't. Yeah. But I think the movie sucked, in my opinion. What made the movie suck was the fact that it was a 2006 comic book movie. We didn't hit that renaissance yet. This is right around the window where Dark Knight came out, where everybody's like, wait a minute, these don't have to suck. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's in a weird area. If this was like 2000s Ghost Rider, I think would be a little bit more accepting possibly, but it's a weird gray area. What about you? What do you think that worked or sucked?
I think I agree with the Nick Cage passion comment in the vaguest of senses. Because like anytime you see someone try really hard at something, you're like, okay, well at least he tried, and then that's enough for you to like give him a pass on some things. And it's like, hey, cool, fire and things. Like, we like fire as human beings, so it's fun to watch that. And there's not much of a story here. I mean, all the villains are taken down in less than 2 minutes each. And
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
and like the main villain, Blackheart, if he gets the contract of San Laganza, there could be hell on earth. So we give, like any movie you do, if you have a gun, it's lying on a table, someone's going to get shot. So you give the guy the contract of San Laganza, and what happens? He becomes, I am Legion, and we are many. And he's dead in 2 minutes.
You did that line better. That's not, yeah, I forgot about it. That's what sucked absolute, almost cussed. That's what made it suck.
Right.
The villains suck trash. Earth, Wind, and Water trash. One shot it. I got a chain. You're done. My chain's hot now. You're done. I'm gonna smack you to the side. What do you do to the one that jumped on the water? Same thing.
No.
Same thing. He did to the wing guy.
He grabbed him and went,
Yeah, and that killed him.
and he like boiled the water around him. That was it.
So Blackheart, who wanted this MacGuffin so bad that was gonna give him ultimate power, because like mind you, he beat Ghost Rider.
Wait a minute, we totally passed over the one non-villain dude. Because he's the one guy who we showed later in the movie.
God, he murdered the dude.
He's important because of only this part.
Yeah.
So like there's a mugger and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna kill me. Like, I'm gonna kill you. And then Ghost Rider shows up like, no, you innocent. And then like he gives him this like sexy smolder.
Yeah.
And then just kind of, and then the guy sees all the terrible things he does and his heart breaks and he dies.
Yeah.
And that's the
true.
penance stare.
Right.
And it's like this one moment in the movie that we're going to gloss over and show never again. And then this is the most important part.
Yeah. And so like he beats Ghost Rider the first time because he's immune to the penance stare because he has no soul. But he wants to get all the souls from San Laganza or whatever it's called, San Lasagna, to get
lasagna.
ultimate power.
San
So he
Lasagna.
has a bunch of souls now. So guess what? The penance stare works and he gets one shot because he was the ultimate power, but it wasn't the ultimate, you idiot. But you're able to beat Ghost Rider in the first place. Why? Why do you want the contract for what? Because the script.
Because the script says so. That's what happened.
I'm sorry, I got really upset.
It's not.
But
also, do anything.
Also, up for debate. This movie is the debut of Rebel Wilson. So take that with what you want. That can either be a good or bad thing. I think she's okay.
Where was this chronologically with where did it come out around those?
We had a gentleman ask where did this come in with the nowhere.
Nowhere.
This is,
Like 2006.
oh, it's 2006 for this one.
So
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man came out first,
2000.
and then in 2000, and then I think right after this, it was Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, because
So, like-
Daredevil was 03.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Daredevil was 03.
So 3 years it's like 3 years time for Daredevil for that director. So it's kind of like the same deal. Better. I mean, it's an improvement from Daredevil in my opinion. Take it. But
I'd rather watch Jennifer Garner a few more hours than watch this
I
movie.
disagree. Did he make Elektra? He made Elektra.
I think he might have been Elektra too.
Yeah, he's bad. Let's just move on to the second one, guys.
I have a thing about Crazy and.
Yeah, they did.
They made another one.
They did it again. Poor girl. Somebody said very sad in the press. They made two.
They made two.
They made
two.
2011. Things are different now. This is a different climate. Stuff is real now. We know that we can have good movies. The MCU is like a thing. And
Yes.
yeah. Iron Man, the creme de la 2008. Think about that. Wrap your brain around that. So we do this. So we're like, oh, is this gonna be a part of this? Is this
I
like
think
a
this is
sequel to-
part of that, like, Sony is trying to keep whatever properties they own as best they can. And it's like, okay, whatever works, whatever made money in the last 10 years, let's just call that guy and have him do something to keep these Marvel characters here, because Iron Man was really good. And that might walk away from us if they were not careful, like Spider-Man and Ghost Rider and like Fantastic Four and like other things we're seeing. Like.
So check this out. Okay, show of hands. Who's seen Batman v Superman? Now keep. She made me laugh. Keep your hands up if you liked it. Damn. Well, okay. Nobody. Okay. That was out of pity. That doesn't count.
Well done. Well done.
So
good choice.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the name David S. Goyer. No, he's the one that wrote the whole Martha thing. He was responsible for that. David S. Goyer.
That's him.
Now, about to mess your mind up even more. Who's seen The Dark Knight? Keep your hands up if you like Dark Knight. Guess who's responsible for that? David S. Goyer. Yeah. Yeah, but somebody should have choked. Somebody should have just put a pillow over his face after Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I said it. I meant it. I mean, but like, okay, so he wrote this,
Maybe he was
but
just drunk.
David S. Goyer wrote a rated R version of this, and they were like, "Let's do it. This will be great."
No, this is not like no, we can't do that. The kids come to see these things.
And they backed off. So what they did was they took David S. Goyer's script when he was not too far removed from Dark Knight now. So this is good David S. Goyer. He wasn't corrupted yet. And they neutered his script. So so if you've seen the movie, you'd be like, oh, so that's why that part was stupid and that part was weird and this part.
Yeah, why
Because
there's
they had
no
to read the
blood and they're
script.
like, oh,
and they
okay.
only had a couple of weeks to do it. So we get an upgrade and a downgrade, guys, in the looks department for our boy Nick Cage. More awesome, Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Way cooler. His jacket bubbles, the flames go from just, whatever.
It doesn't
colors.
like just go back. It actually goes around.
And then we get a Nick Cage who agreed to do this. And guess what? It's not a sequel. It's a reboot-ish reboot thingy. Yeah. Has nothing, like the first movie never happened. Because they did like this dumb animatic where they redid the stuff because they couldn't get Peter Fonda.
And then they do like a short cut too, like another kid and it's like, sign here, please. And it's just like, oh, okay.
It was all drawn. So like, and the blood fell down different the whole night. Like they made it very obvious. So in this version, the directors, they directed Crank 2 and 1. Those guys. So you have Nicolas Cage and the director for Crank, and they had a conversation like, hey, do your thing, Nick. Let loose.
If you've seen Crank, that's understandable. That conversation sounds exactly like you just said.
Have you seen Crank?
Right?
Okay, not a lot of people. So let me explain Crank to some of y'all. There's a guy who had, he's like, whatever. He's an underworld guy. They, bad guys that he doesn't like take his heart. They have it to where he will die unless he keeps his adrenaline up. So to do that, he has to do a lot of bad things. He even has sex in public because it's a
Hey, wait
it's
a minute,
movie.
wait a minute. I feel like you're mixing Crank 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think I did.
1 was poison, 2 was the heart.
Sue me.
Right? I know, yeah. The 2 he had to keep getting shocked with electricity
They
to
both
keep going.
were bad. So this guy, they said this time you don't have to use the body double, Nick. You get to do it yourself. You get to be Ghost Rider yourself, and there's a clear difference because you know it's Nick Cage underneath that skull. He did this one thing where he's like, well, I studied, I had a pet snake once, and I studied the snake, and he'll have his back to me, and he'll sway back and forth like this, and he'll turn and attack. So yeah, you get to see Ghost Rider, if you haven't seen this, sway back and forth like a cobra, and then go and run and do a penance stare. And the part 2's penance stare didn't have a good enough budget, so it's just him yelling at a guy. Do me a solid. Follow us on Instagram. We have the behind-the-scene footage of Nick Cage losing it.
Oh.
Okay? If you want to see Nick Cage lose it, and they have so y'all saw that initial picture in the beginning where Nick Cage had face paint? He didn't have to do that. Like, all he needed was the little skull cap with the lights on it, but it was his idea to get blackout contact lenses and face paint because he wants to be in character because Nick Cage is a madman.
He's doing a
And
thing.
I might be one too, because that was too much.
He's doing a thing. He's an actor. He's doing a thing. He's doing a
But
thing.
he tried more than the other guy that was on drugs. See the difference? One guy's on drugs, he zones in.
He's scratching at the door! He's scratching at the door!
He's insane. What time is it? We gotta keep it moving.
4.
All right. We're good. So, let's talk about the supporting characters. We got Idris Elba. Can you believe it?
Oh, Heimdall, no!
He needed money, man. Idris Elba, a.k.a. my arch nemesis, because my wife is really in love with him, and I hate him so much. I look like him a bit if you pour Vaseline in your eyes
he needed
and get
Luther.
real drunk and turn the lights off and turn your back and don't look at me at all. I look just like that man. But
somebody has Luther continue watching right there on their Netflix queue.
So Moreau, it's a better story this time around, in my opinion. Yeah. Moreau is a French,
a drunk Frenchman.
Drunk Frenchman who is working with a church, a secret party. You know the cyber churches in movies in this period of time. It's all stones and brick. But nope, it's a high tech facility all behind you with all the screens and stuff
and weaponry and money and whatever.
Yeah. So he's connected to that, and that's pretty much it about him. And he dies horribly because he's a black guy in an action movie. No, we did not.
We didn't have a chest shot.
Cage is a little puffier this time around. So that's more debate if that was actually his body or not. But he could be consisting of creamy nougat and could have gone bad a little bit, right? So here we got Child MacGuffin and his mother, Mom MacGuffin.
Yeah.
So the mom, Nadia, she's mysterious and she's a gypsy. I kid you not. That's her whole story arc, and that's her gypsy child. And guess what? Here's a line. Please tell the line about who she is to Satan, please.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're the devil's baby mama.
Actual line from the movie.
Actual line from the movie.
But that's who she is. And Danny is the body that the devil wants to inhabit. That's the MacGuffin. He wants to inherit. It sounds better than wanting a contract.
Hang on, I'll explain. Yeah, the older gentleman in this movie who plays the devil wants to be inside of this child. How about that?
Whoa!
What? That's totally this movie.
It is, but whoa, phrasing.
Oh yes, the devil's been inside of many people. I'm sorry to say.
Yes, very true. So, and it's also a weird way if you're attached to Peter Fonda. Maybe he just let go of Peter Fonda's shriveled husk and went to an even older man for some reason, which is stupid. But it is what it is. Oh my God, Christopher Lambert is in this movie, guys. Huh?
Highlander.
Yeah. King of Kings, man.
And Raiden.
Yeah, Raiden makes this not so crazy. No. He doesn't really matter in this. He shows up and he backstabs Moreau.
Yeah,
the Idris Elba because reasons. I mean, how can you not trust a guy whose face is covered in scriptures? I mean, how more devout how more pious can you be?
Yeah,
yes.
I only have
Ladies
one
and
more
gentlemen,
house
we
payment.
have our new version of Devil 2.0, Rourke.
Yeah,
because Mistopheles was too much. And they just got to change the name of the guy. It's
like,
the devil. Because why not? Because
they can't use the word Satan and they can't use the word devil. It was like Rourke.
Because of that creepy analogy he did for them, we're going to skip over him.
What?
Let's talk about the actual bad guy. It's a dude named Kerrigan. No, it is not Steve from Stranger Things. Relax. It's not him. His name is Kerrigan. He's a gun runner, yada, yada, yada. But he's a character named Blackout. Now, here's the funny part, guys. I didn't know he was a comic book character, and I didn't know his name was Blackout because they never said his actual bad guy name in the movie.
Mm-mm.
Yeah!
Ever. Once.
Not stupid at all. Guess what his powers is, folks? He decays stuff.
I thought his name was Decay.
That's what I thought. That would have made perfect sense. Yeah. But behind the scenes,
it's like, I give you the power of decay. And they're like, oh, cool, his name is Decay.
It'd have been easy enough just to do that, but they didn't do that because they're stupid. And the guy who did the character knew his character name was Blackout, but they never said anything about Blackout. Yes, there's like this stupid thing where everything goes dark, and he grabs and makes him like rot and decay and stuff. And watching Idris Elba decay made me a little happy, I'm not gonna lie. But here's the deal. He's like a zombie thing, right? So they have the scene where he's trying to eat food. Why? Because he's a zombie. Who cares? He picks up an apple. It rots. Boo-hoo. He gets a sandwich.
It rots.
It rots. Picks up a Twinkie. Oh my God, you guys should be writers.
Wow, you guys should be ghostwriters.
You're so talented.
You cannot hurt the Twinkie.
So yeah, that's his deal. And like honestly, still a better villain than Earth, Wind, and Water Trash. Like he puts up an actual fight. He actually does some things. People get hurt. But I felt like he actually did better as a human than he was as a bad guy because he had a javelin missile launcher and actually yeah, I know. Whatever. He's a gun runner. That's how they made excuses for this. But whatever.
No.
Regular leather jacket.
It spent all the. Okay, so wait, in the Jericho missile scene, like, sorry, in the javelin missile scene, he shoots Ghost Rider and he gets back up, and then Ghost Rider somehow ends up on this giant mining giant saw machine dilly-dally. And so, back to your thing, anything Ghost Rider rides can, yes, become somewhat of a Ghost Rider. Anything, apparently. So a piece of mining equipment turns into this giant flaming saw of death, and it just starts crushing single guys. Not everyone, just one guy at a time.
You know what? What you got, man?
Even a bunny.
A bunny. Yes, he can stand on two bunnies and have two bunnies.
If he had bunny slippers, they'd have flaming eyes.
Well, if he rides the chair, yes.
Yeah, if he rides the chair.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost ride the chair.
This guy.
Recently in one of the comics, there's a character called Mamamax who's a mutant that looks like an elephant, and Ghost Rider jumped on his back, and it turned into a flaming elephant.
Oh, that is badass.
That is awesome.
That is badass. I like that. But okay, but this guy sucks.
Get him done.
He should, like, by law, by the decree of Article E40, he should be capable of doing it.
Yes.
Dude, he should go swipe all whips. So here's the deal. We kind of went around like what sucked about it, but like what actually worked, I will say the effects worked. It's like probably one of the better effects of it. If you love the insanity that's in Nick Cage, you will enjoy it for the wrong reasons, but that's why the movie could work in your favor. But a lot of craziness in the background as far as all the stuff, because they didn't have their filming equipment until 2 days before the actual movie started. And typically you need 3 weeks so everyone can get used to all the stuff. They were going to go, because it's low budget, so they were going to go to Romania, and they had this whole area set up that they were going to use. Cause, this is going to be Ghost Rider's lair where he gets away from the world and da-da-da. Because the whole movie is set in Eastern Europe, and juxtaposed to part 1 being set in, I guess, Texas, but it was Australia. But what's crazy with that was they were like, man, these guys keep trashing our set. We keep losing stuff. Could they tearing stuff down? There's a disconnect in languages because they need at least 3 translations to get the stuff that they're trying to do. So they're like, hey, stop tearing this stuff down. We need this building. Leave this building. They're like, yeah, sure, no problem. Pff, building is gone. Turns out, if they would have did it there, they would have died because it was basically Chernobyl over there. It was all poisonous. Ghost Rider could have killed hundreds of people. And this would have been like, people would have pretended to like this movie because it was Nick Cage's
it's like Nick Cage's last movie.
His last hurrah.
Oh, man. We killed Nick Cage.
I'm looking at you, Street Fighter, but it sucks, dude. So, like, but I will say, I will give credit to the directors of Crank because they knew what it was, and they did really cool stuff when they did shots. One of the directors, I can't pronounce his last name, his name was Mark. He would be on rollerblades, filming the action scenes, grabbing onto the back of motorcycles, doing real crazy stuff. So the fact that their budget was lower, you got a more grittier thing. And that flame and will thing was awesome. And yes, if I had the power to do it, I will kill each individual person. So you're the last person, you're really scared and upset, and you know that this is meant just for you. I'm just saying, that's how I roll. What you got, man?
I mean, I feel like you have Crank, you have Ghost Rider. And things are like, everyone's watching these Marvel movies. Everyone's like gonna go see these. All the kids are gonna come see this thing. Just do it. Just be that guy. Be the first guy through the door and be like, all right, fine. Rated R. Blood. Guts. This is Marvel Knights. We show Marvel Knights credits up front. People who know Marvel Knights know it's not for children.
Raise your hand if you've seen Punisher Warzone. Was it not glorious for the wrong reasons?
Right?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen Punisher Warzone, this is one of my favorite Punishers before John Barathol existed. Before John Barathol existed. The reason I like it is because, okay, I'm a doofus, first of all, but like there was a guy who used cocaine. He got punched in his face. His head caved in because it's hilarious. Don't do drugs, children. Also, he held a baby and a shotgun at the same time. That is action movie 101. That's what you do. And did he pull the trigger? Yes.
Yes.
Blew a dude's head off. There was another guy, he shot with an RPG rocket in the middle of doing parkour because parkour sucks. I can spend just as much time going out the door and going downstairs than you trying to kill yourself, you idiot. Also, and you're a gymnast, just deal with it. Also, he threw a guy off of a building. He got impaled by a fence, and like the 2 cops were like, oh my God, but it wasn't over. He jumped off that building and uses this dude's head to break his fall, snapping his neck. It was glorious. Terrible movie, though.
So this review of Punisher Warzone is now concluded.
Actually, we did that episode 2. Episode 70-something.
Yeah.
Go enjoy it.
But it's like, I feel this is, it's not going far enough. That's the problem with this, with Ghost of Vengeance. Yeah. Spirit of Vengeance is not going far enough. If you're going to go crazy, go crazy. If you're going to be Ghost Rider, be the original Ghost Rider. Be rated R, go after criminals and kill them and do things that are, violent.
True that, because they even showed behind the scenes he was very upset that there was no blood. Like when he was typing the stuff out, doing the rewrites, he looked into the camera. Like if you buy the DVD, buy it for the behind the scenes footage, and you see the strain these directors went through. Because he was typing up, he's like, Ghost Rider grabs the guy in the whip, kills him, and there is no blood. PG-13, guys.
No blood.
He was salty. He was salty. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is final verdict time. What that means? Knee pads or slippers. This is how we work. We don't do 2 thumbs up. We don't do, like 5 stars or anything. What we do is knee pads and slippers. If we truly enjoy this movie, we will get a maximum of 2 knee pads. where we put on our knees, bow down, and worship this movie like the God that it is. Or, if we hate this movie, we put on a maximum of 2 hater slippers, where we shuffle in, drink our Coke, and judge it from afar, telling how much of a piece of crap it is. Ladies and gentlemen, first let's do Ghost Rider 1. Random Ready Savage, knee pads or slippers?
I'm going to go ahead and give this 1 knee pad. It wasn't the most worst movie I've ever seen. Eva Mendes definitely helps it a lot, just being there. But it's so garbage, and everything else is just it's just passable enough to just pause for her and watch nothing else.
That is fair. This movie, I got testicular torsion watching this one. At the mere fact of villains are important. Killmonger, Thanos.
Yep.
Just saying. Good villains. You have villains that get one shot at the whole time. You mean to tell me that you're a villain, that your main motivation is your kryptonite? That is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my whole life. I literally waited an hour. No, I'm sorry, I got the extended cut. I'd have watched 2 hours of this to have you just basically waste my time. You churn colors, you almost turned into the villain that I wanted you to be, and then you got killed immediately because you forgot. Like, you told him to his face, I have no soul, that's why you can't beat me. But I want all these souls so you can possibly kill him first. Stupid. Two hater slippers, because it's absolute garbage. Moving on to Ghost Rider 2.
Ghost Rider 2.
Random Ready Savage, knee pads or slippers?
I'm going to go ahead and give this 2 hater slippers. Because I love Crank. I really do like that movie. Mm-hmm. But this movie, I was so bored. And like, you have Idris Elba, and he rides a motorcycle. He fights for the good of like justice and morality. And he doesn't become a Ghost Rider at any point in time, or some kind of angel of vengeance. Yeah. That would have been amazing. Like a flaming sword of like Idris Elba walking, like whatever. And it's like a loss of so much potential of a good movie. It's just like and then you got nothing. And Nick, I know he does things to do things. But this movie was not enough of that to do things to make it better. Yeah, if that makes any sense at all.
I'm going to give 1 knee pad to this movie. I know it's a shock. Here's the reason. That hairpiece was gone. I was able to focus. A lot easier to pay attention to the movie because I could just see his actual hairline and it didn't bother me as much. But I like Marvel Knights movies. I have a soft spot for Crank. I have a soft spot for Punisher Warzone, and I knew what this movie could have been. And honestly, it was going to be 2 hater slippers until I saw the behind the scenes, realizing how much the studio meddled in it. And we all know about Sony and meddling, guys, if you go behind the scenes. But here's the deal. The movie was supposed to be was shot in 3D. They didn't want it to be shot in 3D. It was a last-second edition. They didn't have the equipment for 3D, and they had beef with a guy who was the 3D expert. And they did the dick fingers quotes on their end in the back. Oh, I cussed. But yeah, like they literally had to change the stuff they wanted to do because they had to get it ready for 3D. They were crippled by this. We could have had an off the rails movie that Randy wanted. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's a pity rating, but 1 knee pad for me, and that's how I feel about it.
No pity from me.
Hopefully you guys agree with us on some level, but if not, just subscribe to everything that we do.
Just a little,
please. Guys, with that being said, we are done. I want to thank everybody who came out here. I know you guys probably never heard of us, but now you have. We have business cards we're going to give you guys. We also have merchandise here on the side. Hopefully you enjoyed the free jelly beans and maybe can kick something back to us. At least get a keychain if you didn't participate. Seriously, though, guys, give yourselves a round of applause. We appreciate everything that you guys do.
Thank you for coming out.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show.